growing my stock portfolio to $1 million. So today the portfolio was up 2.82%. And the two positions that I'm currently in is a 2 times Bitcoin ETF and a 2 times Netflix ETF. So let's look at Netflix. So today Netflix was down 0.10%. And on the daily chart, basically, we're still in the clear. We're in the green. We are still above the 9-day moving average. As long as we can hold ourselves above that 9-day moving average on the daily chart, we should be fine. The next resistance level that we need to break is the 180-day moving average. Once we break the 180-day moving average, we can try to break above the 200-day moving average. On the weekly chart, basically, it looks like we're approaching the 20-day moving average, and the 20-day moving average reads 82. So basically, that's the next resistance level that we need to break above 82. If we can manage to break above it, then we can see Netflix go further up. And on the 30-minute time chart, basically, Netflix was a little kind of weird, I would say. The reason I say that is in the pre-market. So in the pre-market, basically the 9-day moving average was above both the 20 and 50-day moving average. I honestly thought that, okay, we're going to see this momentum to the upside still continue, I'd say, because the moving averages look like that so far in the pre-market. And we were at a point where basically we wanted to break or reach that resistance level of the pre-market of 81.15, but the highest we got to was 81.08. So we just barely approached that pre-market resistance level. So it was a kind of a bummer. And then you can kind of see it was just like kind of weird. It made like a V shape during the day, and then we just slumped when the market closed. So we finished below the three moving averages, the 9, the 20, and 50-day moving average. On the 4-hour time chart, though, like I said, if we do see a further, let's say, Netflix for whatever reason, these couple of days starts slumping to the downside, I feel like honestly, we're just going to bounce off the 50-day moving average. The reason I say that is because we used it here on the 18th. We used it here on the 12th. We used it here on August 7th. We sort of used it here August 6th. Bounced off of it. And then we used the 50-day moving average here on the 31st. And then we used the 50-day moving average here on the 30th of July. So July 30th, we use the 50-day moving average as support. As long as we can use this 50-day moving average as support, for the long term, this is very good news for Netflix. We're trying our best to not break below that 50-day moving average. If we break below that 50-day moving average, we could possibly see, Netflix start going down all of a sudden, if that does happen. But for now, I'd still say that the case for Netflix is still bullish. Now looking at that Bitcoin. So Bitcoin today had another wonderful day. Today it was up, so far today it's up 7.63%. And let's look at Bitcoin, right? So on a daily chart, I did mention yesterday that, okay, if we can finish above the 180 and 200-day moving average, we can finally start to see upside from Bitcoin. And basically today, that's what we saw today. I mean, on the 4-hour time chart, well, let's look at it on the 30-minute time chart, right? So on the 30-minute time chart, it is looking very beautiful. The reason I say that is because look at that. Look how the moving averages look like on the chart, like from where the screen I'm showing you. It looks so good. So when the moving averages look like this, that particular stock or cryptocurrency tends to have a pretty good chance of just going up, carrying the momentum to the upside. Now, in the 4 hour time chart, it is looking so beautiful. The reason I say that too is because number one, the 9 and 20-day moving average are both above the 50-day moving average, and it looks like the 50-day moving average just crossed over the 180 and 200-day moving average. Now, if we do see a slight pullback, which I'm pretty sure that's going to happen sooner or later, I expect it for, honestly, if we see a healthy pullback, I expect it for Bitcoin to pull back to the 9-day moving average or possibly to the 20-day moving average. That's where I see if, Bitcoin decides to, starts to do a slight pullback. But by the looks of it, it looks like the momentum is carrying. We haven't seen a what? An 18. So on the weekly, we're up 18% so far. Let's see what other like what other week has it been close to that? 18%. I guess you could say since March 2nd, 2024, that's the closest we've been to an 18%. Because, well, March 2nd, on the weekly chart, the highest that we reached was 20.24%. So we can expect for Bitcoin, honestly, to carry the momentum to, to even higher numbers. So I expect for Bitcoin next to approach the 50-day moving average on the weekly. If we can break above the 50-day moving average on the weekly chart, then we should be seeing more momentum to the upside for Bitcoin. And then Ethereum is doing pretty good. It's up 4.16% so far. And basically, same thing with Ethereum. We've managed to finally break above all of these moving averages. The 9 and 20 finally managed to be over the 50-day moving average. And I honestly see Ethereum carry the momentum to the upside as well. So it looks like pretty much every cryptocurrency is kind of doing the same thing. So we'll have to see what happens this week. So another thing I do want to talk about is basically an update on the $1,000 paper trading challenge. So today the position is down 39.67%. Basically, I got into SpaceX call options, and I got into SpaceX call options as soon as SpaceX landed on the 50-day moving average. Waited for a bounce, that didn't happen, and basically on the 4-hour time chart, I mentioned yesterday that we needed to maintain ourselves at this support level of 136, but we couldn't hold ourselves at that support level, so we broke below it. The way I see it is that if SpaceX does start seeing more downside, I feel like it's going to approach the 200-day moving average. The reason I say that is because the 9-day moving average on the 4-hour time chart has crossed below the 50-day moving average along with the 20-day moving average. So we'll see if the momentum to the upside can reverse all of a sudden, but we'll have to see and wait. So that is an update on the $1,000 paper trading challenge, and that is an update on the growing the stock portfolio to $1 million. So I'll keep you guys updated. We'll see what happens this week with crypto and the overall stock market. As always, peace.